Hello, Roster Wars. NostraSMAKadamus here, coming to you live, risking capture by the government to prove to you that I am real, as some of you have stated that I am not, and it's just somebody that flips a coin to pick these games. I needed to show you that I am real, and I am predicting these games 500 years plus in the future from the 1500s. So, just last week, in the Dastardly Dozen, I had a solid week going 4-2 as I matched wits with Sty's Pies. That pie master, that baker there, he knows how to pick them games. I don't know how good his pies are, but he sure does know how to pick a game. I ended up 4-2 and matched him in the Dastardly Dozen. As far as the Terrible 12, things were pretty terrible for me on that end. Yes, they were. I ended up only with a couple games right. Ended up 2-4. Tales from the Crib, they were a little bit better than me as they had a 3-3 outcome. So you got to give it to them. That boy sure knows how to predict the games down in the hood, as them young kids would say. So overall, he definitely has had a good season with the 30-12 record, while I've only been able to have an outcome of 24-18. So he's ahead of me there. Mr. Pie over there, Sty, he's doing very well. He's got a 29-12 season going for him. Sometimes his mustache hairs are a little longer. I think I need to trim them, but you know, we ain't got no electric razors in our day. Sty's 29-12 in the Dastardly Dozen. I've been 25-16. Now, so let's go. Before I get caught or captured, we got to at least go to Week 8 predictions. So we're going to start off with the Eternals 5-2. They're going to be taking on the Oaktown Malosis. Oh, you got to give Sty credit for being able to pronounce that right. They're at 4-3. Now, definitely, this is a battle of top teams in each chapter, and that'll put the winner of this chapter in a good spot in their division, in their chapter. And all signs are definitely pointing to Minnesota winning this game, and that seems to be the road to go. But you know, I go by a different map. I got like a different kind of GPS. We don't use GPSs in our day. We go by the stars. And I got to predict an upset here just because I got to keep things on track for what Smack predicted for the season. So I'm going to go with the Malosis. I'm going to have to ask Sty how he does that. Anyway, I'm going to go with them to win. The second game is the Titletown Tyrants. They're at 5-2. They're taking on Indiana Mayhem. It's come to my attention that I've not been picking the Mayhem at all this year to win. And I just want to let you know, Carla, that in the future that's going to change. But not this soon in the future. I can't do it this week. I got to go with the Titletown Tyrants. They gotta be able to win there at 5-2, and I think I got to pick them to win. But I got another quick prediction for you, Carla. In the future, in about 500 years, women are going to be allowed to vote. That's just a little tidbit. Okay, in the third game of the Dastardly Dozen, you have the 2-5 Red Knights taking on the 4-3 Gadabouts. Now the story here is, can the Red Knights have a winning streak beginning, as they won last week? Can they win 2 in a row? Well, I think they've definitely been drinking too much out of the Whiskey Creek. Maybe a little drunk if they can win on this one. Gadabouts at 4-3. Got to go with them on the win. I'll take the Gadabouts. Now, next game, you got a couple of 5-2 teams. You got the England Dragons taking on the Devil's Towers Outlaws. Now, you would think, you know, a couple of 5-2 teams, that's going to be a tough matchup to predict. But sometimes you got other teams that look better than others. Sorry if you see me looking around. I'm just worried I'm going to get spotted or something here, because I'm always on the run. Anyway, a couple of 5-2 teams. The Outlaws, if it was the 1800s, I'd be a little more scared of the Outlaws, but since it's only the 1500s, I think we got to go with the Dragons on this one. Then you got, next game, you got the Silver Ballers, the Little Town Silver Ballers 5-2 record, taking on the Muskego Muskies at 4-3. This is a chance there for the Silver Ballers to get some league-wide attention. You know, they should have probably their PR guy maybe looking to giving their team a little bit more publicity on how good they actually are and stuff. But things have been pretty quiet there in that area. The Muskies, if they can pull out a win, then that would even up both teams' records. But who's willing to take a chance on picking a winner on this game with these two solid records? Well, NostraSMAKadamus, I tell you, I'm willing to take a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Silver Ballers on this one and stay on their bandwagon. Now the last game, the Dastardly Dozen, you got the Africans, who have yet to win a game, who Smack predicted to go 6-6, but that was of course before they had their team-wide yard sale and got rid of everybody. And then you got the Las Vegas Degenerates, who are also 0-7. So you got a couple of winless teams 7 games into the season going at each other. You know, it's one of them stories, you know, like if a tree ever falls in the forest, you know, or like if a pair of 0-7 teams play each other and nobody's in the stands and nobody's watching, does somebody actually get a win? Well, no ties here. I'm going to go with the Africans for their first win of the year. At least that's what I got for the Dastardly Dozen. Now, let's talk Terrible 12. Ain't so terrible, but here we go. We got the Divine, 3-4 record against the Goon Squad, another 3-4 record. So after this game, one of these two teams will be at the 500 mark 8 games into the season. Isn't that an interesting scenario for these teams? You know, the Divine have been about 300-point scoring machine every week. The Goon Squad have been more or less seesawing each week. So I just got to go with a little bit of consistency here. I can't, at my age, you can't take chances. A seesaw could even make me seasick, if you get what I mean. Seesaw, seasick. All right, we'll take the Divine on that one. Now, next game, check this out. Another 5-2 pair of teams, or 5-2 pair of teams. You got the Pigskins from Philadelphia making bacon at 5-2, and then you got the Mohawk Ridge Marauders at 5-2. This has to be the showdown for these two 5-2 teams going at it. But the Pigskins, they're on a 5-game winning streak. And I'll tell you what, you got to ride that pig until that streak stops, and then you make bacon with it. But for now, you got to stick with the streak. I'm going Pigskins all the way. Third game in the Terrible 12, you got the Bergen Brawlers, 1-6. Oh, I'm wondering about my chest here. You know, it's a little hard to, I don't know, I don't even take no nitros or nothing, but anyway, I don't even think they had nitros back in my day. You got the Bergen Brawlers at 1-6 against the Decatur Freak Show at 2-5. I got to go with their regular name on this. I don't know, some silly games these people play in the future times. I just call it like it is. So a 1-6 team versus a 2-5 team going at it. Am I the only one that enjoys these type of battles as much as you do like a 5-2 team? Because this is going to be another interesting game that's going on here. And the Brawlers, I think I got to go with them. So they need to step up on this. The Freak Show, this will bring both teams at 2-6 if the Brawlers can pull it out. So I think I got to go with the Brawlers on this one. Sorry, I got to clean my lips a little bit. All right, how's that? I look better? I look all right? Maybe I should get these trimmed next time I get a haircut. Anyway, that's that for that game. You got the Brawlers and Freak Show. Now we go to the fourth game in the Terrible 12, which brings another pair of identical records going at it. I mean, I got to know who scheduled these games because they were pretty on the ball with this. You got the Norfolk Bombers at 3-4 and the California Nightmare at 3-4. Smack predicted both these teams to finish up above 500, and I don't know what's going on. It's been a nightmare in California town, and the Bombers have been getting bombed more than they've been sending bombs. So you would think the winner of this team, at least they'd get back to 500 and maybe things start to change over the last few weeks of the regular season. I've stuck with the Nightmare in previous weeks, I'm going to stick with them again. I'm going to take the California Nightmare on this one. I mean, I don't know why I'm going to do that, but that's what I got to do. I'm going to take the Nightmare. Now, here we go. Game 5 of the Terrible 12. You got the Hamilton Steel Cats taking on, they're at 5-2, taking on the Gold Diggers. San Francisco, that's where they were from. San Francisco, another California team there. There's supposed to be a big quake one of these days that's going to separate that and make it its own island. But it's still a ways off. They're going to discover what they call a San Andreas fault. Do not buy a house on the fault line. That's all I can say for now. Anyway, both teams are coming off losses last week. And neither of them want to start a losing streak. You want us to get back on the winning side of things. Unfortunately, one of these two teams is going to end up with a losing streak. But on this one, you got to dig for some gold here and go with the Gold Diggers. Speaking of gold, if you're around in like the 1850s, somewhere around there, you might want to take up mining as a career. That'd be a good place to start in California, there where the San Francisco Gold Diggers are. All right, now to the final game, because I don't want this to get too long-winded, and I'm afraid the government's going to be able to triangulate their signals, get them all, and find out where my hideout is. So I got to hurry up before. Okay, for the last game in the Terrible 12, you got the 5-2 North Wales Knights taking on the 3-4 Morrison Minions. If this summer you would have told me these two teams were squaring up on week 8, this would be like the showdown to see. But somehow Morrison just hasn't gotten on track. You pick them to win, they lose. You pick them to lose, they win. They're hovering right around that 500 mark, and we're 7 weeks into the season. The Knights are right on pace for what was predicted by them at 5-2. So I'm going to give them Minions one last shot here. And I'm going to have to go ahead and take them to take over the Knights. To take out the Knights here. And that's the last game of the Terrible 12. So there you go. There's your predictions for this Halloween weekend from NostraSMAKadamus, who is actually alive and well. But I just can't give out my super secret location. Uh-oh. Nostra is out.